Very good evening, children. Today, let us see the chapter Wave Optics, Volume 2, NCERT Wave Optics. We all very well know that for CBSE board examination, the Wave Optics chapter is very important. And of course, clubbed up with ray optics and EM waves, the weightage is more. It involves lot of conceptual questions, numericals, reasoning type questions. So come let us see in detail about this lesson. So wave optics. So we are going to study the optics is nothing but study of light. So this is study of wave nature of light. Study of wave nature of light. Wave nature of light. We all very well know that the velocity of a wave, I mean the light wave. Light waves are electromagnetic waves. So EM waves we have learnt. EM waves are transverse in nature. Transverse in nature. It travels in the form of crest and trough. But the frequency of the light wave, how does it varies, or what is the relation between the frequency of the light wave, velocity of the light wave, and its wavelength? We have already learned that, but then also now we are going to recapitulate that same here. Velocity of the wave or speed of a wave, velocity of light wave or speed of wave, that is nothing but V is equal to nu lambda, or you can write it as C is equal to nu lambda. So where nu is nothing but frequency of the light. So nu is nothing but frequency of the light. So now in refraction, we have already learnt that when a ray of light travels from one medium to another medium, for example, air medium to the glass medium, so the refractive index of the glass medium is greater. So therefore you can call this as denser medium. So ray of light travel from rarer to denser medium. So it is traveling in the form of a wave. Rarer to denser medium, it bent towards a normal. Okay, it bent towards a normal. So I would like to show you, like, even though it is bending towards a normal, the wave nature I wanted you to know about. How does this wave nature, so let me show you that simulation of PHET so that you will get an idea about it. Yeah, so let me show you the simulation of PHET. So you can see that, yeah. So this is wave nature. This is actually a ray which you have already learnt. So the ray of light travel from rarer to denser medium. You can see here. So this is rarer medium to the denser medium. The ray bent towards the normal. So instead of ray, I'm going to take a wave. So you can see that it is traveling in the form of a crest and a trough. So let us check the speed of the light wave. You can see here the speed of the light wave is 1c, but in the denser medium you can see that the speed decreases. So how much is that? 0.67 c. C is nothing but 3 into 10 power 8. So here c is 3 into 10 power 8. So now, so let me show you here. Yeah, so now this is C here, that is 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. But here it is 0.67 into 10 power 8 meter per second. So speed decreases. So therefore, wavelength also decreases. Okay, the speed decreases, wavelength decreases. How do you know? We know that mu is equal to mu is equal to C by V. Where have we learned? In Snell's law of refraction. But we have already learnt that V C by V, instead of V, I can write it as nu lambda. So therefore, you can say V is directly proportional to lambda. If V decreases, lambda also decreases. So wavelength decreases, speed also decreases, whereas what happened to the frequency of the light? The frequency of the light is going to be remaining the same here. How do you say that the frequency of the light is going to be remaining the same? Because these molecules are going to vibrate up and down here. The same way here also this vibrating. As soon as this light wave falls on it, these molecules, that is in the denser medium, what does it do? You know, these molecules are setting into forced oscillation. When it is setting into forced oscillation, last year class 11 I will learn, right? All these molecules are already vibrating with a certain frequency. But when this light wave falls on it, all these light waves set the molecules in the glass medium, I mean the denser medium, and force it to oscillate with the same frequency of the light wave. So therefore, you can say that the keyword over here is the frequency of the light waves. Even though it is traveling from one medium to another medium, the frequency of the light wave remains the same. Why does it remain the same? You should say the molecules in the denser medium. What is that? The molecules in the denser medium, or you can say molecules in any medium set into forced oscillation. You have to view this as an oscillator. Which one you are going to view as an oscillator? The molecules are going to view as an oscillator. They set into forced oscillation, attain the same frequency of the light waves. So hope you understand, children. So what happened to the speed of the light in denser medium? Decreases. Why does it decreases? Because mu is inversely proportional to speed. What happened to the wavelength of the light in the denser medium? Decreases. You can check here. Can you see the wavelength? It is cramped. So wavelength decreases. Speed also decreases. But then what remains the same? Velocity. Let us see the intensity of the light. So you look at the intensity 100%. But look at this intensity here, 90.81% only. Intensity of the light also decreases. So hope you understand. So now come back here. So now this is, you can say here, mu is equal to sin I by sin R. So which you have already learned this. This is Snell's law. But I can also write mu is equal to C by V. Okay, mu is C by V here, and that can be written as nu lambda air divided by nu into lambda medium. So therefore, or you can even write this as C by V, where V is equal to nu lambda. So therefore, I can write V is directly proportional to lambda. So V decreases here. V is decreasing, speed decreases, therefore lambda also decreases. What happened to the frequency? Just now I told you. So frequency remains the same. Frequency remains the same. Why does the frequency remain the same? I have told you, molecules set into, yes, molecules set into forced oscillation. Since the molecules are setting into forced oscillation, attain the same frequency of the source. So therefore, you must understand that wavelength changes, velocity changes, whereas frequency remains the same. So you can see the first question here. When a monochromatic light is incident on the surface separating two media, the refracted and refracted light both have the same frequency. Can check here. Is it given? Same frequency? Yes. Separating, both have same frequency as the incident frequency. Why? The reflection and refraction arise through the interaction of incident light with atomic constituents of matter. The light is interacting with the matter. What is matter made up of? Matter is made up of molecules. So atoms may be viewed as oscillators, which I have already specified, which take up the frequency of the external agency, causing forced oscillations. So thus, the frequency of the light emitted by a charged oscillator equal to the frequency of oscillation. So from this, what can you understand? The frequency of the scattered light equal to the frequency of the incident light. So frequency doesn't even change. So hope you understand. So now I would like to say, just make a note of it. In that note, you have to say that mu is equal to C by V, which is equal to C by nu into lambda. Or you can say note number 1. Note number 1, mu is inversely proportional to velocity. Note number 2, mu is inversely proportional to wavelength. Note number 3, V is directly proportional to lambda. Note number 4, you can say that lambda in medium can be related as lambda in air divided by mu. Similarly, speed of the light in medium is equal to speed of the light in air divided by mu. So hope you understand what remains the same. Frequency remains constant. What's the reason behind? You have to view that interaction with the matter. The matter is made up of molecules. All these molecules are set into forced oscillation. Hence, they attain the frequency of the source. So hope you understand, children. Next, we will go to the next topic, that is wavefront. What is the meaning of wavefront? I'm going to show you another stimulation for the same thing so you will have a better idea about it. So you can check here, how does the waves originate? So let me take a light. So I have taken the light. So I'm going to, light is going to be switched on, slow, switched on. You can see that intensity of the light, how is it spreading? Can you see this? Intensity of the light keeps on spreading in the form of crest and trough. When we drop a pebble on the pond surface, how the ripples are produced, and till its boundary it will be extending. Same way here also, you can see that the waves spreading out in all direction with that intensity in the form of, here, the light waves I'm talking about. How the waves are spreading out, water waves. Same way here, light waves are spreading out in the form of crest and trough. So you must have noticed that the distance of separation between the crest and the trough is going to be the same. So if you want to just increase or decrease the amplitude, accordingly it will change. You can see here, I have decreased the amplitude, accordingly it changes. So hope you understand, if you are going to increase or decrease the amplitude, accordingly that changes. Similarly, frequency also you can increase or decrease. Yeah. So if you want to see the graph, you can see here. If you want to see the screen also, you can see here. On the screen, you could have noticed that intensity pattern you can see on the screen. Now you slowly observe. Yes. Okay, intensity pattern, that is nothing but an illumination. Another source Let me take, you can see here, this is how the wavefront is going to be arising. You can notice that. From the source, look at that points, how the waves are spreading out. So from that, the wavefront is going to be arising like this. So what is a wavefront? It is an imaginary line which you are drawing. It is a continuous locus of all points which are vibrating with the same phase. See here, this is also one of the wavefront. This is called as plane wavefront, and this is called as spherical wavefront. Next is cylindrical wavefront. The last one is plane wavefront. You can notice that spherical wavefront, point source of light. You can also notice the cylindrical wavefront. This is a linear source. For example, tube light, you can take it as a cylindrical wavefront. The last one is plane wavefront. Plane wavefront also arises from the point source, but the points are at infinite distance from the source. You can notice. So the waves are spreading out in all directions continuously. So therefore, the wavefront is also spreading out in all directions. Now look at that sunlight. It is far away, so therefore you are getting the plane wavefront. A plane wavefront is obtained, and it falls on the earth. You can notice again the plane wavefront. Okay, so you can notice that secondary wavefronts. So it is enough. Now we'll just go back to the board. We'll go back to the board. Yeah. So what is a wavefront? Wavefront, it is a locus of, see, for example, I am taking a source. When you take a source, for example, it is a dark room, I have taken a source, the source is switched on. Now, when the source is switched on, you must be noticing that around the source, you must have noticed that the waves around the source, the intensity of the light waves keep on increasing like that. So this is the source. So from that source, that keeps on decreasing. When you go far and far away, what happened to the intensity? So intensity keeps decreasing like that. So this is a center source. Then again, what happened? The source keeps on spreading out the intensity like that. So therefore, here a wavefront is formed. How do you say that what is a wavefront? Wavefront is nothing but the locus. You can see here. See, this is the source of light. This is the source of light. Now from the source of light, the waves spread out like that. Now choose the points which are at equal distance from the source. So I have chosen the points which are equal distance from the source. For example, A, B, C, like that I have chosen. See, what I am going to describe, what I am going to teach, it is only wavefront. It's very simple, children. Everybody can learn. So don't think beyond the limit. Oh, what is this? How very difficult it is. Nothing like that. A small bulb in a dark room is switched on. Around the small bulb, you must have noticed the intensity of the light, brightness. I wanted to fix the boundary, or I wanted to draw the boundary around which the illumination intensity is same. That is all. So how do I draw? Choose the points A, B, C, D, like that. Where do I choose the points? Choose the point which are equal distance from the source. After choosing the points, you can say that all these points are going to get an energy at the same time. Hence, all will be vibrating with the same phase. So join all the points which are vibrating with the same phase. That is called as wavefront. You can ask me, is that only one wavefront? No. See, here this is the source. I am drawing one wavefront. This is one wavefront. Because all these are equal distance, hence they produce same intensity. Like that, one more wavefront. Like that, one more wavefront. So wavefront keeps on spreading out. Lot of wavefronts you can draw. So when you keep on drawing the wavefront like this, like this, like this, keep on drawing the wavefront, at the end what will happen? The spherical wavefront, when you see from here, it is going to appear as if it is going to be a straight line. That straight line wavefront shape, you call it as plane wavefront. So from this, what can you understand, children? Wavefront is nothing but imaginary line which we are drawing in order to find out a boundary around which where the intensity of the light is same. What is the shape of the wavefront obtained? For example, point source of light, spherical wavefront. Same way, point source of light, you will get linear wavefront, straight wavefront. That's called linear wavefront. That's called plane wavefront. When can you get the plane wavefront? If you are choosing the points which are infinite distant from the source. So therefore, you can say that there are different shapes of the wavefront, you can get it. So what are the different shapes of the wavefront and what is a wavefront? We will see that. Okay. So now what is a wavefront? Wavefront is the locus of all point. Locus means path. Locus of all points. All points which are vibrating, which are continuously vibrating. Continuously vibrating or oscillating. Continuously vibrating or oscillating. Vibrating or oscillating with the same phase. Oscillating with the same phase. What do you mean by same phase, children? Same time. What are the different types of wavefront? So now types of wavefront. Let me give types. Number one, the number one type, that is spherical wavefront. That is number one. Number two, plane wavefront. And number three, cylindrical wavefront. These are the different shapes of the wavefront. Okay. When do we get spherical wavefront? Just now we saw spherical wavefront. Spherical wavefront, for obtaining spherical wavefront, you have to use point source of light. Point source of light. And for obtaining plane wavefront also, you have to use point source of light. Point source of light. Okay? But spherical wavefront point source, plane wavefront point source, how do you differentiate? Now this is the source of light, but I am going to choose the points which are at closer distance for the source. When I choose the point closer distance for the source, I get spherical wavefront. See here, closer distance for the source, I get spherical wavefront. But at the same time, if I am choosing the point far off distance from the source, I will get a plane wavefront. So whatever I am drawing is a plane wavefront. This is the ray of light. Whatever here I have drawn, it is a spherical wavefront. So I have drawn the spherical wavefront, but at the same time, I would like to draw the ray of light. The ray of light, the ray of light. So this is the ray of light. This is the ray of light. Similarly, here I have drawn the ray of light. So two shapes of the wavefront we have done. Now the third one, that is cylindrical wavefront. The third one, it is a cylindrical wavefront. Now only I showed you, right, the animation. So cylindrical wavefront, what is the nature of the source, that is linear source. For example, tube light, children, linear source of light. So how does a linear source of light, tube light is an example. So let me take cylindrical wavefront. So this is tube light. So I have to putting it horizontally, children. So this is okay, vertically itself I'll put. This is a tube light. This is the linear source of light. So and then draw a wavefront. So when you draw a wavefront, you will be getting, this is the linear source of light. So I have drawn a wavefront, we will be getting cylindrical wavefront. Putting it together, it is a cylindrical wavefront. I would like to draw an arrow mark, so I am drawing an arrow mark. So what are the three shapes of the wavefront we have seen, children? Now first one is spherical, second one is plane, and third one is cylindrical. So these are the three different shapes of the wavefront. So again, what is wavefront? It is the locus of all points. Locus means path of all points which are continuously vibrating or which are continuously oscillating with the same phase. What do you mean by same phase? That means same time, because they all get the same time energy, right? They all get the same amount of energy at the same time, hence they continuously vibrate with the same phase. So hope you understand, children. Next we will go forward. This is the wavefront. I have already pointed out the same way it is given. A wavefront is defined as the continuous locus of, the wavefront is defined as the continuous locus of all particles of the medium which are vibrating in the same phase. Now we are going to use Huygens principle. So what is that Huygens principle? We'll see that Huygens principle. Number one, according to Huygens principle, S is the source of light. S is the source of light. From which waves spread in all direction, and you can draw a primary wavefront. Or S is a source of light from which a primary wavefront is arising, from which waves spread in all direction. Waves spread in all direction. Waves spread in all directions. The wave is spreading in all direction. Move with the speed. Move with the speed or travel with the speed. It travels. The waves travel equal to the speed of the light. Waves spread out with the speed of light, with the speed of the light, 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. So let me take this as a first point itself. Now I'm going to go with the second point. This is a being very important. Each and every point of the primary wavefront, each and every point on the primary wavefront is acting as a source for constructing. Primary wavefront is acting as a source for constructing, as a source for constructing secondary wavefront. Now only we have seen, children, like primary wavefront, that's the first wavefront which you are drawing. What are the three different shapes of the wavefront we have seen as per the syllabus? First is spherical wavefront, which is the source of light. What is the nature of source of light? Point source. From the point source of light, first wavefront is produced. Now that's called primary wavefront. From the primary wavefront, you will be able to draw the secondary wavefront by using Huygens principle. That is what it says. According to Huygens principle, when you take each and every point on the primary wavefront is acting as a source for constructing secondary wavefront. Ray of light makes an angle. Ray of light is always perpendicular to the wavefront. Ray of light is always perpendicular to the wavefront, and even though the ray of light is perpendicular to the wavefront, only the forward envelope of constructed secondary wavefront is taken into consideration. Only the forward envelope of constructed secondary wavefront is taken into consideration. Wavefront is taken into consideration. Whereas the backward envelope is discarded. The backward envelope is discarded. Why do you discard the backward envelope? Is there any reason? Yes. We know that light always comes from the sun. Okay? Can you make this light to go back to the sun? Light comes from the sun to us. So light always flow in the forward direction. Can it come back again to the sun? No. Same way, water, how it falls from the higher level to the lower level, from mountain to the plains. Can the water by itself go from plain to the mountain? No. So therefore, similarly here also, light produces in the forward direction, hence the forward envelope alone, constructed secondary wavefront alone is taken into consideration, whereas the backward envelope is discarded here. So using this, I'm going to construction of wavefront. Using this Huygens principle, let us construct wavefront. Now let us construct spherical wavefront. So first we will construct spherical wavefront. How do we construct spherical wavefront? First of all, S is the source of light. I'm going to teach you. I'm not going to give you the points. Only teaching. Listen carefully so that you can frame the points by yourself. So now I will take S is the source of light, from which I would like to construct a primary wavefront by choosing the points closer distance. I have chosen the point closer distance, and I am able to draw a primary wavefront, that is PQ. So I have drawn a primary wavefront, that is PQ. PQ is the primary wavefront. Now the ray of light spread out like that. So the ray of light is spreading out in all direction. Now I have to choose the points on the primary wavefront. First of all, I have drawn the primary wavefront PQ. Now you choose 3 points on the primary wavefront. Let me choose A, B, C. Very simple, children, hereafter. First, draw primary wavefront, choose 3 points on the primary wavefront. I have chosen 3 points A, B, C. Now, from A, for a time t second, for example 5 seconds, the ray of light from A would have traveled a distance d is equal to Vt. Similarly, from B, for the same time t seconds, the ray of light from B also would have traveled a distance d is equal to Vt. Next, from C, yeah, same thing. Again, you know it. So now the ray of light from C also would have traveled the same distance, Vt, as because I am considering for the same time. Yes? Now jot out the points, recollect. First, from the source, you are drawing the primary wavefront. Which is the primary wavefront? Yes, come again, correct. PQ is the primary wavefront. Next, what you do? Choose some points. So I have chosen 3 points, A, B, C. From A, the ray of light would have traveled a distance Vt for time t seconds. Similarly, point B, the ray of light again travel a distance d is equal to Vt. Again, point Q, it travel a distance d is equal to Vt. Now, with A as center and Vt as radius, draw a concentric sphere. Similarly, with B as center, Vt as radius, draw a concentric circle. That means concentric sphere. With C as center and Q as center and Vt as radius, draw a sphere. Now you draw tangent to all the spheres. Draw tangent to all the spheres. So I have drawn a tangent to all the spheres, back as well as front. So I am drawing tangent to all the spheres back and front. After drawing back and front, join all the tangents. After drawing back and front, join all the tangents. You can see here, by joining all the tangents, you get two envelopes. But according to Hygiene's principle, backward envelope is discarded, as energy cannot flow backwards. Only the forward envelope is taken into consideration. Therefore, XY is the forward envelope. What is the shape of the envelope we got? We got spherical wavefront. So we constructed secondary wavefront. By using Hygiene's principle, we constructed secondary wavefront. What is the shape of the wavefront I constructed? Spherical. So likewise, you want to construct plane wavefront? Yes, you can construct plane wavefront. You write construction of plane wavefront. Construction of plane wavefront. What is the difference? Same point source, but instead of closer distance, far away distance. Construction of plane wavefront. Take point source. After taking point source, take infinite distance from the source. Now, this is the primary plane wavefront. Choose 3 points on it, A, B, C. Okay? Now, from A, the ray of light would have traveled distance D is equal to Vt. A of light from B also traveled distance D is equal to Vt. C also would have traveled distance D is equal to Vt. Now, with A as center, Vt is radius. With A as center, Vt is radius. Draw a sphere. B as center, Vt is radius. Draw a sphere. With C as center, Vt is radius. Draw sphere. Draw tangent to all the spheres. After drawing a tangent, join all the tangents in the back as well as front. But we have already known that backward envelope is discarded. Backward envelope is discarded. Okay. What about the forward envelope? Yes, you can take this forward envelope into account. But what is the shape of the forward envelope we got? That is plane wavefront, PWF. That is all, children. This is how we need to construct the plane wavefront. Now, quickly let us see here action of plane wavefront. Action of plane wavefront. So now, in a convex lens, action of plane wavefront on a convex lens. How is the shape of the convex lens, children? Is that the symmetrical shape? Is the shape is throughout the same? No. So it is thin at the edges and thick at the middle. Now I am going to take a plane wavefront. The plane wavefront, number 1 and 2 rays will be traveling lesser distance in glass. You can see here. Whereas the third ray is there now. That have to travel greater distance in glass. Since it is traveling greater distance in glass, what will happen? In glass, speed reduces. Speed reduces. Since the speed is reducing, thick, right? Since it is thick, more time it has to travel. So by the time the 1 and 2 is able to reach this much distance, 3 will not be able to reach this much distance, and join all the points. So when you join all the points, you can see here, you get a spherical wavefront. So I need not draw all that. So I can just rub this and only the spherical wavefront you draw. So you got it. So the center, it has to travel longer time in the glass. Since it is traveling longer time in the glass, so what will happen here? It suffers more refraction. Since it is suffering more refraction here, so therefore, the center one will not be able to reach the same distance as that of 1 and 2. So therefore, you get a converging wavefront. Converging spherical wavefront is obtained. In one more question, you will be getting it, children. This question is a sure shot question. I have to know the explanation of it. Same way, what will happen to the next one? Concave mirror. So action of plane wavefront on concave mirror. Same thing. So let me draw a concave mirror. So when you draw a concave mirror and a plane wavefront, As usual, this is 1 and 2 waves. We'll have to travel at the edge and then return back. So 1 and 2 will be able to travel the same distance for time t seconds. Whereas the 3 have to go interior and then come back. So by the time the 1 and 2 travel longer distance, whereas the 3 will be traveling lesser distance. So join all the points. When you join all the points, again you will be getting a converging wavefront, a converging spherical wavefront. Spherical wavefront. Since we know that it is a converging spherical wavefront, so I don't need to draw all that. So let me take this, take this out, and then I will draw only the wavefront. So I will draw only the wavefronts. Now you understand, right? So you can draw only the wavefront. So after falling on this plane reflecting surface, I will get a converging wavefront. It is spherical wavefront. So hope you understand, children. The next one, prism. Prism is slightly different. In a prism, it is thick at the base, very thin at the edge. So the ray of light, so straight line, let me put straight line. The ray of light from one will have to travel lesser distance in glass, whereas this two have to travel a very longer distance in glass. So therefore it suffers what? Refraction more. What will happen to the speed? Reduces. So therefore by the time the one is able to reach this much distance, two will be able to reach only this much distance. So you get again plane wavefront. But only thing, it is slanting. So hope you understand. The last one, for example, in a convex lens, in front of this convex lens at the focus, a point source is placed. When you take a point source, so what is the shape of the emergent wavefront? Draw the shape of emergent wavefront. When you draw the shape of emergent wavefront, we know that the ray of light from focus, after reaching this convex lens, then it goes parallel to it. When it is going parallel to it, what is the shape of the wavefront you can get? So you can get a plane wavefront is a shape. So therefore, you need not draw all that. You can just erase it. Now you understand that you get a plane wavefront. So here you can say that if the point source is placed at the focus and the emergent wavefront, what you obtained is plane wavefront. You can say point source is placed at its focus. So what is the shape of the wavefront you get? Plane wavefront, because the image is obtained at infinity, hence you call it as plane wavefront. So hope you understand, children. So till this you can study, and let us see the remaining part of the same lesson in the next video. Thank you.